So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Roma Theory. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all enjoying this Halloween weekend. And today, obviously, I want to speak about transfer news. And tomorrow we'll speak about the Verona game, which is a crucial game, not because, it's a crucial game because it's a Roma game, but also because, Juventus, now that they're out of the Champions League, they're definitely focused on the Serie A more. Napoli looks unstoppable. Lazio looks good. So it's also a crucial game, to kind of keep the pace of other teams as well. But we'll speak about that game tomorrow. Today, I want to highlight three things. I want to talk about Houssem AOUAR and how Houssem AOUAR is the priority of this January, of this winter transfer market. I also want to talk about how we've got some really good news when it comes to injuries and some updates on Chilik's and Dybala's conditions. And I also want to talk about on another transfer hit, which is Ola Solbakken from Bodo Glimt. And in fact, that's where I'm going to start. Because Ola Solbakken has apparently basically almost signed his contract as a Roma player. An agreement has been found between the two sides, between Bodo Glimt and Roma, between the player, the agents and Roma, and from the 1st of January, Ola Solbakken will become a new Roma player until 2027. So his contract would be until 2027, and from the 1st of January, he could become, in fact, will become a new Roma player. And that means that Solbakken will be the first acquisition of this winter transfer market, which will be a transfer market which is all about, I don't think that, I'm going to say my opinion on it. I don't think the winter transfer market is a transfer market where we spend money. And this is kind of the philosophy of many teams. It's not just us. I see us spending money and maybe focusing on spending more money than usual this summer. It's definitely not going to happen in January. In January, I think it's all about buying players to improve the overall squad depth, which is being destroyed by that many injuries. And these injuries will continue over the second part of this area as well. It's a transfer market to improve your own weak points. So our weak points in this case is scoring goals on non-set pieces goal. And therefore we need creative players. We need a player who you can put next to Dybala, next to Nico, which gives a lot of support to Tammy, and that equals goals. So it's kind of a transfer market which is all about looking at the first part of this area, analyzing what went good, what went wrong, the points we lost, how many points we lost, the way we play matches, the way we score the goals, and kind of analyzing the January transfer market in that way. So I definitely think that the January transfer market will not see us spending much money. We'll see us buying several players, but not spending money. And I mean, money will be spent, but I mean not excessive amount of money. I definitely think we're gonna buy 3 players with Solbakken. So I think it's gonna be Solbakken. Then I think we're gonna buy another midfielder because the many injuries, Matic being coming towards the end of his career and therefore being very unreliable when it comes to fitness and all of that. I definitely think we need another midfielder, and then maybe I also think a centre back. Even though, again, I've said this many times, the defense has been solid this season, and I think it's the section which we can blame less. We concede silly goals, 100% agree on that, but I'd rather spend more money on creative players which equals goals than solidifying our defense, because our defense is solid. And why is our defense solid? Our defense is solid not just because of Smalling, because frankly speaking, I expected Smalling to have this security in defense. We all expected Smalling, but the defense has improved because of Ibanez. Because Ibanez, no one here was expecting Ibanez to have such a good impact this season. And therefore, at the end of the last transfer market, we're all like, oh no, we can't play an entire season with Ibanez, because we weren't expecting Ibanez to play like this and to have such an exponential growth under Jose. So I think our defense is not the section to prioritize. I definitely think scoring goals will be the big theme of the January transfer market. So yeah, before really getting, in fact, no, let me speak about Houssem AOUAR, because Houssem AOUAR is our priority in the January transfer market, and this hasn't been said, but this has kind of been foreshadowed, because there have been contacts between the two sides over the past week, over the past 2 weeks. The two sides have called each other. Thiago Pinto wants Houssem AOUAR, and over the past couple of days, he has called his agents. Now, we'll discuss the AOUAR situation and why it's very likely that he's going to change team. Basically, AOUAR is a player which is not getting a lot of game time at Olympique Lyon. He wants to play more. He is really disappointed with the amount of game time that he's being asked for. In fact, as you can see from the screen, he only played 3 games this season. And something really good, something really positive to analyze is that he only played 3 games and he scored 1 goal out of these 3 games, which doesn't look like much, but it's a lot. It is really a lot. 1 goal from a demoralized AOUAR who wants to change team. The manager doesn't have faith in him and therefore doesn't start him. 1 goal out of 3 games is a lot for a player who doesn't get game time. So this puts to mind that he's a player who loves contributions. And if that will be a goal or assist, I don't know. But that's immediately something which steps up this first part of the series. Because I think why are we interested in AOUAR? The real question of why we're interested in AOUAR, the real reason of why we're interested in AOUAR, in my opinion, is because Jose pictures an attacking. He pictures an attacking frame of Nico, Dybala, Pellegrini, AOUAR, Tammy Abraham. Obviously, not all of them will start together, but you see, that has to equal goals. And if we don't score, even with AOUAR on the pitch, who gives you the goals and the assists, then it's a tactical problem. So this is kind of like Jose saying, right, I'm having problems when it comes to scoring. You have to get me a creative player. Because if I have AOUAR and Dybala next to Tammy, that surely equals goals. And if it doesn't equal goals, then I need to change my tactics. Because let's be honest here, if we get AOUAR and we play like this in the attack, then it's 100% a tactical problem. So this is also kind of a transfer hit for us to understand if it's actually a tactical problem or if it's a lack of players. Hopefully it's the second. Hopefully, by buying AOUAR, things can improve. So definitely, the two sides have contacted each other. AOUAR wants around 4.5 million, which is retained a lot from Thiago Pinto. But again, Thiago Pinto has said that it's kind of a number which can be rotated around, which can be negotiated. Why do I say it's a lot? I'm saying it's a lot because, we're having a fight. Not a fight, don't picture this as a violent image, but we're... Sorry about that quick lag, lads and lasses, but yeah, with AOUAR, what do I picture? I picture goals. I picture someone who shoots from outside the box. I picture someone who teams up well with Dybala. Now that is very important. That is so important. I picture someone who supports our strikers and therefore overall maybe collects more points from difficult games than that. Because AOUAR will change the dynamics of our attack. I'm 100% convinced about this. And then again, another thing which can happen if we buy AOUAR is that we can see Pellegrini play next to Cristante or Matic or Kamara even more. And that means that we can kind of kick the Matic and Cristante duo away even more. Because we could easily play with Tammy, Nico, AOUAR, Dybala, and Pellegrini together. But Pellegrini obviously needs to play in a deeper position. By the way, let me know if you can hear me, lads and lasses, because the stream stopped for a second. So please let me know if you can get back hearing. So yeah, that's when it comes to AOUAR. I'll definitely update you in the future. I'll definitely update you If we've got updates on this, I'll definitely update you. If if things change, if things kind of change direction, because I think the important thing is him prioritizing a move away from Olympique Lyon. That is very important because that will boost Olympique Lyon to lower their prices down. And also another thing which I didn't mention is that this could easily happen in January because Lyon want to sell him because they don't think he's part of their project anymore. And therefore, if they sell him this summer, they would lose him by not getting any money because his contract expires. So another reason why there is a higher chance of us buying him in January than June is so that Lyon can actually make a profit from this. And let's not forget that AOUAR a couple of years ago was a generational talent for many people in this globe. Let's not forget that a few years ago, AOUAR was the center of an Olympique Lyon team. So he's a player which I think can, and again, he can bring a lot of experience, and it's really good. I mean, look at the 2-1 defeat against Ludogorets. If we had a bunch of experienced players, we would never have lost that match. So experience definitely plays a big part in my opinion. So yeah, I'm not speaking about AOUAR. The last thing which I'll say to end on a positive note is updates on injuries, which are really good updates. In fact, if you haven't already, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Smash it because this is really good news. Celik is back training with the team. He posted it today on social media. He said finally back with the team. That means that Celik will be back. Definitely not on Monday, but maybe on Thursday, who knows. And that also means that Zalewski can be brought back to the other side of the pitch, which is where he belongs, which is where he plays better. So that is definitely good. And the good news, however, is Paulo Dybala, because Paulo Dybala's recovery is getting back and is getting really well. There is nothing negative there is no bad news on Paulo Dybala's injury. And in fact, the World Cup now is a very doable thing for Paulo. In fact, the Argentinian manager has already given him a call-up. He's basically called him and said, yes, you got injured, but for me, you're going to make it to the World Cup. So he gave him a call-up. And in fact, let's not hide the fact that we could see Dybala get back with a call-up in the game before the World Cup break, which is at home against Torino. That is the game where I wouldn't be surprised Dybala gets a call-up back. Definitely not starting. But yeah, his recovery is going really well, and he will be back stronger than ever, and especially he'll be back faster than what planned. So lads and lasses, if you haven't already, make sure to smash the subscribe button and smash the like button in this live stream. Please do it. You know how much it supports me. It doesn't take that much time. It's literally one click on that mouse, on that pad, wherever you are. And it supports me a lot. So please do it if you haven't already. And follow me here on Instagram or at Simon_AS_. Tomorrow, we'll talk about the Verona game, which is a crucial game. I mean, we'll speak about it tomorrow, because we can't afford to lose that game. And yeah, I'll catch you soon. Simon, out.